All right, guys, we are live. How's it going? My name is Jay, aka the Ink Jedi, host of the Comic Book Fiend Club presents the Fiendcast. I'm not alone tonight. I'm with my cohorts.
What up, what up? Chad, aka Canadian Geek.
What's going on, everybody? James, aka the Comic Raider.
You guys sound sick as dogs.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
Just viewing the chat, seeing who's in there. All right, Chad, you want to take it away? Start the show.
Sure. So first on the docket, we're talking about there seems to be a lot of entertainment news in the last week or so. We've been gone for a few weeks. We've been busy. Guys have had family stuff and conventions and stuff. So we'll just jump right into it. Kevin Feige and other sources have come out to said that there's going to be a possible Silver Surfer and Namor, among others, appearances in Avengers 4. We also heard that young girl that got cast is supposedly going to play the new Hawkeye. As Hawkeye becomes Ronin, she'll become Hawkeye. I don't know. Everything I read seems to be there's going to be a lot of. It sounds like there's going to be a lot going on in Avengers 4. That's why I'm predicting over 3 hour runtime. I'm going to say it's probably like 3 hours and like 10 or 15 minutes. It's going to be a long ass movie.
Jesus.
But it all depends. It all depends on what they want to do with it, because I think we've been building for Avengers and Avengers 4 or Avengers 3 and 4, whatever, for 10 years. So, throw a lot of shit on that screen and do a lot of stories. So,
right.
I guess we'll have to see.
I know Namor has always been a name that's always come up with the Marvel, in Marvel MCU, and even back in the day, it's always one character that always came up. I wasn't ever really sure. I heard there was some dispute on who actually owned the rights to make a movie with his character. I don't know if you heard this too, but that's always been up in the air. I heard it was one of those things how like Fox and Disney both owned Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, where they were able to share that character for some. I don't know how that worked, but as far as Namor, no one really knew like who had the rights to that specific character. But I think that would be a pretty cool character to see come to life. I mean, we'll just see how they're gonna introduce him into the MCU, because it looks now like their next phase may be cosmic.
I think that's where they're going. I think that's definitely where they're going, is the cosmic route, the introduction of all the characters. And as it's gone on, you get more and more of them. I agree. I don't know if Namor pops in. I think he could. It just depends on, again, like you guys said, how do they tie it all together. But if it is that long of a movie, which I wouldn't be surprised, and I think we have to, as we always say, they haven't let us down yet. So you got to understand that no matter how big of a story they make this, they'll probably do a damn good job of intertwining all these different stories, hitting all these characters. They're probably one of the few ones who could pull off like legit, bringing in all these big characters, giving them somewhat of an origin while still telling that big picture that they're trying to do. And I mean, if they do it, I could see them pulling it off pretty well. And I think we need the new characters. You got to have something new, especially just to kind of help with the rumored deaths that are going to come up. You're going to want those new characters to come in to kind of like, make it balanced, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not a huge Namor fan of the comics, but I do know a little bit. And he was kind of almost like he was introduced, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was introduced way before Black Panther was. But he was kind of like the same thing. He's from this underwater kingdom that nobody knows a lot about and nobody's ever seen. And I just don't think in the last 10, 20 years, he has a very niche fan base. And I'll say, and I don't mean to discourage anyone. It's a very small fan base, but he's a cool character. Like in the comics, he's been a part of a lot of cool super teams and duos, and he's pretty badass. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with him.
Right.
And I know you were saying, Jay, there was a lot of unknowingness when it came to who owned him, because one company owned the rights to this, and the other company owned him to rights to another medium. But I would like to see him because he's a pretty cool guy. And yeah, as far as cosmic, like let's face it, there's enough Marvel characters to go around for everybody to go cosmic and Earth and underwater and jungle. Like you could have a different flavor of the week every month. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they can do and how they tie it in, because they'll take him and they'll make him cool. And it would be nice if they did it like the comics, where he kind of shows up and beats the shit out of Fantastic Four.
That's what I was about to say. He's super badass. Like, he's a
Yeah.
really good, I don't know, anti-hero would be the word, but he's just one of those dudes that show up and you know he's gonna like beat someone's ass in a really cool way.
Yeah, because if you got him pissed off enough that he comes above the water onto land, you're like, oh shit, somebody fucked up.
Someone's gonna
You know,
get the business.
Yeah, and you know, and you're a Fantastic Four fan, Jay, and you know he didn't just show up and like almost beat the Fantastic Four. He came above and he beat the shit out of them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they didn't know what was up. So it'll be interesting to see, because I don't even know a lot of his bad guys. Like, I honestly, from the top of my head, I don't think I can name off one main name or supervillain or villain. You know, he's always just involved. He's always involved in other storylines, and how, like Civil War, we'll say the storyline. He was just wondering how it was going to be affecting his world.
Right.
How was all the hate towards the mutants and the Mutant Registration Act? How will it affect his underwater kingdom? You know, and so it'll be kind of interesting. I think it'll be cool.
Let me see here. Yeah, Count Von Strange said that Namor has been around since the Golden Age.
Yeah,
would be
exactly,
an interesting choice for a character to drop into the Avengers without an origin. Yeah, I can see that most definitely.
Yeah,
Well, we'll
kind of
see.
cool, definitely. Yeah.
Hey, so how long is going to be the new Avengers movie?
The things I've read it's going to be anywhere between the Russo brothers. I've seen several places. It's at least 3 hours. If not,
Jeez.
I'm guessing it's going to be like 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Jeez.
Because it's going to be ending 10. It's basically ending 10 years worth of movies, and they're going to set up the foundation for the next 10 years.
The next phase, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's going to be busy.
Damn, it's going to be long.
Take a big old piss before that movie.
Just wear a piss bag.
There you go.
Yeah, looking forward to it, man. I think next Avengers film is going to be pretty. It's going to be dope. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the last Avengers movie was what, 2 hours and a half?
2 hours and 47 minutes, I think.
Oosh, yeah.
Yeah, it was up there.
Let's say 3 hours, including trailers. and
trailers,
cuts
yeah,
and-
yeah.
Jesus. All right, cool. What's next, my brother?
I think we're throwing over to James to talk about LA Comic-Con.
Oh, that's right. James went to LA Comic-Con the end of October. Tell us about that, man. Anything fun happen?
Well, real quick, not to get us totally off task, but were we going to do the other topics, the other entertainment ones? Or are we gonna
that's right. My bad. Canadian Geek screwed up. I went too fast. James, bring up. We're going to talk about Black Mask next, and the casting that was just released yesterday. Think about that.
Yeah, so we got Black Mask has been announced as Ewan McGregor is going to be casted in the Birds of Prey movie. Definite. I mean, that book, everybody's been picking up copies because that's been a rumor for a while. So it's kind of cool to see that he got casted just to finally solidify that.
Yep.
I'm not going to, I was going to say, I'm not like a huge fan of his, but I don't think I've ever met anyone that's like a huge fucking Ewan McGregor fan. But I think he's made some good movies. He's not an actor that I hate, so I like the casting. It's like that perfect balance of someone that's like a big enough name that everybody knows it, but it's not polarizing in the sense where everyone saw him and was like, oh, that's fucking terrible. He's not going to pull it off. Like, everybody's just kind of like, the big name, they got a big name.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how he does.
I'll be honest, like when that choice was announced, I was like, that's a really weird choice. You know what I mean? Like, again, I think the only movies I've seen with him was like Star Wars. I don't recall any other movies with him in it, so I don't know his range as an actor. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know much about Black Mask either, but I mean, he's supposed to be a mafioso type of guy.
Yeah.
Crime Lord, yeah.
Gotcha. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? Do you think that this is a role he could live up to?
I think so. I mean, I think he's a good actor. I think like the only other one that I can really remember that I've seen of his is I think it was called like The Island or whatever.
Yeah, the
one
island.
where they fucking reused the freeway scene or whatever from Transformers and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was I think it was Transformers. But he's a good actor. And I think it's, like I said, it's a perfect role to where it's not it's one of those things where like most people know who Black Mask is, but again, it's the perfect choice because it's an actor and a character that most people are just either way on. And so he can come in, there's not going to be huge expectations for it. And so all he has to do is come in, do the role, which I mean, he's a great actor, so he'll do fine at it. and then all they got to do is hopefully put a good story of it. I mean, like we said, he's a big crime lord. He's pretty badass. He's sadistic. He's definitely a thinker and planner. And so as long as, they put a good storyline together, I think he'll pull his part off very well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
and get your copy now because you're kind of a little too late, but get a copy now.
I mean, it's what happens with any movie speculation. It's one thing that I mean, not to get too off topic, but it's one thing that truly gets me crazy when these movies come out. Like you see eBay's listings, they will change to like, whatever, Batman #2, first appearance of major movie, major character, and it's like. It happened with Ant-Man and the Wasp with Ghost or whatever. I think that's the character's name. Where it's like Major Key, and I'm like, no, it's not, guys. It's so full of shit. Like I get it. You're trying to sell your comics. Good for you. But let's not say like this is a major character because it's not. You know what I mean? Marvel's really good though at taking like these B characters or C characters and giving them really good life. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that they could do the same with Black Mask because I have seen him like in video games and shit like that, and he's pretty cool, or whatever. But hopefully they could give him new life. But that's one thing that drives me nuts is as soon as they announce a character for a movie, speculation hits the market, and these books start going for an inordinate amount of money, and it drives me nuts because the first thing you'll see on that on the listing is Major Key movie soon, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
That's how it sells, though. That's how it sells. It's crazy. Yeah, no, like you said, the video game thing. I mean, that the whole Batman Arkham series, that was kind of like, that's kind of what I'm going to assume is going to be most people's biggest interaction with his character. Yeah, for sure.
He was the main bad guy in Origins. He's the one who puts the hit out on him. So
right.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested. All right, what else we got?
Yeah, I don't think there's. Just really quick. I don't think there's a lot of. There is a hype for that movie, but not the kind of hype there is for other Batman movies.
No,
it's people are like, oh, that's okay, cool. Let's see how it goes. So I think it was a good move for him if he's trying to get into superhero movies. I think it was a good move for him to kind of get a smaller role, or a role in a smaller movie where he's not have to carry it, because it's going to be focused on the female actresses for the lead roles. So it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it. Alrighty, Jay. I think Jay's going to talk to us about. Juan is going to talk to us about Titans because I don't think me and James have seen it.
Word. So. I saw the first 3 episodes of Teen Titans, and I gotta say, man, for all the bullshit it got, as far as like people dumping on it, it goes to show that you really can't judge a book by its cover. I've watched the first 3 episodes of Teen Titans, and it left me wanting to watch more. Like I wish it was like Netflix, where you could just binge the whole thing. It's not, unfortunately, so you have to wait. But as far as like the characters go, it's just dark enough, but it's just light enough where like you could enjoy it. They have Dick Grayson, soon to be Rick Grayson, in there, and that I don't know who the actor is who plays him in the show, but he's really good. And then you start to see where like that whole fuck Batman mentality is coming from there, and it plays off really, really well. Raven, the actress and the character on the show, again, they're building her up really good, where she's not so much a character that she doesn't know what she is or who she is, but you see her grow into what she's going to be, and Starfire, I will say, excellent character. The way they brought her into the fold. I mean, I don't know, again, who the actress is, but she's knocking that performance out the park. Again, it's just a really enjoyable show, and I think everybody should check it out. And I think once the whole first season comes out and is done, we should all come back here and discuss it because I think it'll be a great conversation.
Yeah, sweet people. I remember people were pissed when Starfire that the black actress was cast, and it was like, she's orange, man. You serious? Like, she's an Oompa Loompa. Does it matter who plays her? Like, right. So I'm glad to hear though the character's cool because I haven't seen it yet, so I was looking forward to see who kind of shines in that show. So
it's definitely something that everyone should watch. Once it's done, we'll come back and we'll do a spoiler cast, except for James. He won't be on here for that. He'll be busy playing with his Spawn books, and Andrew
just asked if I liked it. I haven't watched it. I'm not gonna watch it. So
James is one of those
I'm
guys
glad-
that's like, fuck this, fuck this picture. It looks
I'm
terrible.
glad that it's I'm glad that it's good. I'm glad that you guys all like it. Real quick though, I want to go back just real quick. Ben Demon Hunter was asking about Black Mask and some titles, and he doesn't have like very many runs that he's in too much. He's a little bit in what they call War Games, and then Under the Red Hood, he has a little part in that. And then same thing with like Nightfall and one of those Crisis ones. I think it was 0 Hour. But I mean, really, the first appearance, 386, 387. I think he has another one in one of the detective ones. I'll have to find out. But if you want, at the Comic Raider, you could DM me and I'll go through some. Like I said, it's not like some of the other characters where he has this huge epic run that people know him from. He's just kind of one of those characters that pops in for a couple issues, pops out, and stuff like that. But the ones that I gave you were good to start with, and then like I said, if you want more, you can always hit me up and we'll talk over some of them.
James will sell you his issue for like $5 plus shipping. It's all good.
Yeah, sell it now while it's hot, James.
Yeah, exactly.
Key issue.
Key issue.
Key issue. Silver first appearance, Silver Age.
Major character. Batman's dad in the movie.
Oh shit.
Oh man, what's next, guys?
Daredevil.
Yes. James, did you see Daredevil?
No, I'm
Okay.
a
Earmuffs,
huge
James.
Daredevil fan.
Earmuffs.
I'm a huge Daredevil fan, but I was at LA, and then I came back from LA and been fucking at work and sick, and so I haven't had.
Well, we'll keep it spoiler free. I think what a great idea is we do an extra Fiendcast where we talk about these shows we finish, and then it'll be all spoilers, and we let people know it'll be all spoilers, so they can't come in here and be like, how could you share spoilers? And so we'll set that up, and maybe we could do it during the week, where the East and the West Coast could line up, and we won't be too tired, and you guys, it won't be too early for you guys. Sounds good?
Yep.
All right. So, but we'll talk about Daredevil real quick. Chad, what did you think of Daredevil this season?
I thought it was amazing. I'm not spoiling anything. We all know who the characters are in it. I thought the guy that got to play Bullseye was awesome, and I thought he did a great job as Bullseye. I liked how the story was a real. It won't, and because James is actually the one who told us what it looks like it was going to be based on that storyline. It wasn't exactly based on that, but it was very cool how they did it. I love Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. I would love to see him in the MCU. It would be really cool, but I don't know, how good of a his character would get his ass kicked by almost every person. He'd probably get, Rocket Raccoon would beat the shit out of the Kingpin. But no, it was great. It was a great series. There were a lot more. You really got that sense that he has a lot to lose in this one, and this one was like almost like I don't know, rebuilding, but just like he was bottom of the barrel. He's at the bottom, and he had to work his way up to the kind of man he used to be. The acting's great, and it was very good. I struggled to I was just busy to get the first 2 or 3 episodes done, and then once it got it's hooks in me, I just sat there for like the next day and a half and just polished up as many as I could as quick as I could. It was so good. So
same here. I mean, thankfully it was available for download on Netflix, so I was able to consume most of it on my commute to work. I will say, this is probably my favorite season of Daredevil. The first 2 seasons were great. I'm not saying they were terrible, but this one, just because Bullseye was such a good character and Kingpin was back, I mean, Vincent D'Onofrio was just an incredible actor, and it's a perfect role for him. And like you said, like if they could kind of move him over into the MCU, maybe even in a Spider-Man movie or something like that, that'll be kind of cool to see. I think that the dynamic between like the Kingpin and Bullseye in this season was phenomenal. And just the way he does
up until it wasn't.
But Daredevil's definitely a show that we recently lost 2 shows, Luke Cage and the Iron Fist. They were canceled by Netflix, and I'm gonna assume it's just because Disney is doing their streaming app next year. So that's what I'm gonna assume. But we don't know how long Netflix is contractually obligated to hold on to Daredevil or Punisher or Jessica Jones. Since Daredevil was their first show, maybe they had a deal like, okay, we'll do 4 seasons of Daredevil on Netflix, and then after that, you could renew or just, move it along. I do hope to see Heroes for Hire on the Disney channel streaming service. We'll see, hopefully. But this season of Daredevil, I think the story was well done. The fights were really, really cool, and I think
I'll wait till you're done.
No, I would say, and just like like you were saying, Bullseye was just they get those villains right. It was much like Iron Fist, where Typhoid Mary was just incredible. Bullseye again stole the show for me this season as his character. He was just awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And when you were mentioning those other canceled shows, I actually read up on this a couple days ago, and now it could be wrong, but from everything I've read, is Netflix went to Marvel and said, we want to develop some shows. What shows would we? They kind of said, what shows can we do? And they gave them a list and said, well, we'll do Daredevil, and then so on and so forth. So everything I've read, it was Netflix who canceled them because the ratings were so shitty. For even the second seasons, as good as they were, both shows better than the first seasons, the ratings were just plummeted. And even for Daredevil season 3 saw a 57% drop in its first week compared to season 2. But it's one of those things where it's skewed optics, because it's not that people weren't watching it because it was bad. It was people weren't watching because there's so much else to watch. If you actually look at the shows that are done by Netflix now, like Netflix original content that was released that Netflix had 3 or 4 years ago when Daredevil season 1 was released, compared to season 3, it's so much more. They have all these movies now, like tons. Like every other month, there's like 4 or 5 Netflix movies released, 2 or 3 shows. Compared to a couple years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, there was like you get a Netflix movie like once every 4 months. There might be a good show. Like what was it first? It was House of Cards, Narcos, and a couple 2 or 3 other ones. Now it's like you have a laundry list of Netflix.
There's so much Netflix shows. Yeah. So it wasn't it wasn't that people are watching it because it's crappy. They're just busy watching everything else. But they come back to it. They'll I'll catch up on it, and so I don't see them letting Daredevil go. It's still their best one, especially with Punisher. You got Punisher season 2 coming out, and I think we'll see Heroes for Hire, but I think we'll see Netflix do it, because it's like, okay, well, if we have X amount of people watching Luke Cage, and we saw a spike in the episodes where Iron Fist was in it, and then we saw X people watching Iron Fist, and people loved that group from the Defenders and Iron Fist. Let's put them together, and let's get instead of spending all that money on 2 different shows, let's focus our energy on one good show. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see what happens. I mean, I just don't think that level of violence and that kind of attitude of the show, I don't think Disney's going to go for that, because that's why they did it on Netflix. They let them have it and let them do it. If they don't, I see it going PG.
Yeah, very campy, very little blood. Yeah.
I will say this,
which would be a shame.
And not to segue too far, but this DC streaming app stuff, it's incredible, bro. Like, I've never watched anything besides like Batman the anime series, right? Like, I thought that was like legit. I started watching Batman Brave and the Bold. I'm like, this is my new favorite show. Holy cow. Bro, every episode he's teamed up and paired up with like a different hero. This dude had Ghost Tank from GI Combat just show up on the show. No, you know what I mean? Like, people you would have to look up to find out who they are. So if you guys have it, this is my recommendation of the week. Go get the DC streaming app. James, you too. Get the DC streaming app.
I know, I was about to say, man.
Go check out. I mean, and even just for the digital comics as well. If Disney's actually going to have their own app or Marvel app or something, it needs to be like that, because it's there's so much stuff on there, and they're just going to keep adding more. I mean, you're going to get all your DC shows or your DC animated films. You're going to get your DC Comics. Doom Patrol's coming out. Swamp Thing's coming out next year. There's going to be a ton of good stuff. So, they're not sponsoring our show yet, but go check out the DC streaming app. You get a week free, and that's just $7 a month. So you can't really beat that.
Really quickly though, the one thing I want to say about Daredevil is we all know they like to have that one episode with the one scene where it's a continuous shot. Now, season 1 was amazing. That hallway fight was awesome. And in season 2, I thought they did it better with the going down the stairs fight. And in season 3, James, I won't spoil it, but there is a riot in a prison. Holy shit!
Yeah,
it is. I couldn't believe how good it was done. I was like, oh, and right when it started, like right after a few seconds when the shot still kept going, I was like, okay, this is it. This is the scene. Like this is gonna be the fight scene where they don't take the camera away. Oh man, it was incredible. It was long too. It was way longer than the last 2 were. So
it works.
It was awesome.
If it isn't broke, don't fix it, as they say.
Yep.
I hope they do that shit to everyone.
Yep. I'll catch up. Don't worry.
So now, James, now you can talk to us about LA Comic-Con.
Okay, LA Comic-Con. Okay, let's see where we.
First of all, where does LA Comic-Con take place? I know it's in LA, so don't go there. But where in LA? What is it, like a convention center or?
LA Convention Center, which is like right next to the Staples Center. So you have to walk by the home of the shitty Lakers to get there.
Whoa! Easy, Raiders fan. Easy.
Fucking LeBron shit everywhere. Fuck all that. So, anyways, so it's at the LA Convention Center. This year was so much better than previous years for me personally, so I have to just give you my own personal opinion, because I talked in a previous episode about how like me and Everyday Comics Jesse went last minute and we had to wait in line hella long and blah 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 blah. So this year we got the 3-day pass, so we went on Friday, walked in, got our shit. Like every day was just smooth as fuck. But the big like highlights that I guess I'll talk about is we went and picked up D.D. DeGarmo, David himself. So we picked him up. We talked him in from Arizona to come down so he could meet everybody for the first time. So we picked him up. So that was hella cool to get to meet someone, from out of state that, again, you don't really think you're going to meet anytime soon. So we met him. It was awesome to get all the new members that we had just accepted in a couple days freaking before. So to get to hang out with them, Flacco and Drew and Nomad, and hang out with them. I don't think I'm missing anybody, but I could be wrong. So to, fucking hang out with them. They were really cool ass dudes. They hung with us and everything. They walked around with us. I think me and Drew spent like the whole last day together. And so there was that. Tons of booths. We all got a bunch of good shit. I'm still like a week later posting stuff that I got. And
you were gifted a pretty cool slab, weren't you?
Yeah, so that was one of the moments. So Joe, I was at a booth and Joe just came up, and Joe's like fucking Santa Claus. Like last year he came with a trunk full of comics that he had posted to us before. So like we each got like a stack of books from him that he was just trying to clear out. And then this year he just walks up and he's like, he hands it to me. I think he said something, but I didn't really catch it. So he handed it to me, and I was looking at it, and it's a Russ #1 first appearance Spawn. Well, I'm not gonna say first appearance, but whatever. You get the point. And special edition. It's an 8.5. It's signed by McFarlane. It's somewhere around here. And he hands it, and I'm looking it over, and I'm like, oh, cool, how much you get it for, blah, 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 and we're talking about it, and he's like, no, like, it's yours. And I'm like, then I, like, choke up, start trying not to, like, cry and shit, like a little bitch in front of everybody. And so that was awesome to get, and then he had, some other stuff, and then, like, I had my own box of stuff for everybody, and, I mean, that's just kind of, like, we had posted it on the page, and it's kind of like one of those things that's not, like, we're not saying like, get in and we're going to give you free shit and we expect free shit in return. But it's like a bunch of us went and we had books for one another that we had gotten throughout the whole year. And like, oh, I know you're into this. Like Deadpool, for example, which is a terrible character in series. So all those go to Aaron. All of those. So you give him your stack of that and then you just hand out shit that everybody likes and, all that kind of stuff. And, so we had that. There was this awesome moment, which we have on video that I'll have to send and post out. But so we're at Denny's. I think it was the first night we're at Denny's. There's like 7 of us. And after Denny's, we go into this parking lot, and we're just chilling in the parking lot. It's a small little parking lot. So we look over, and we see this car is trying to reverse. The parking lot's full. This car is trying to reverse, and they're doing that shit where they're going like Austin Powers mode.
Yeah.
And so Joe is like, is behind this car that's trying to back out, and it's a rental car, and he's like, oh shit, my shit's gonna get hit. So he goes over behind the person and he's like waving them on, and I'm not gonna say the type of driver, but it was a straight up stereotype. So he's waving them on, and the person's like trying to reverse and has like feet, like 6 feet of distance, and Joe's like, "Come on, like you're good," and they're still like being hella careful. So I make the comment of, "Do you need some help?" And I didn't think that they heard me, but they keep going, literally threw that shit in park, got out the car, and was like, "No, I'm done." Like they gave up. They in the middle of the parking lot just gave up. So I'm like, "Oh shit, they really want us to go." So I walk over there. I get in this person's car, fucking reverse the shit out of there, and then stop it and let them get back in the car. And we were just like, "What the fuck?" And then they took off, and the person was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And we were just like, "Have a good night. You know, follow us on Instagram." And,
Here's a Fiendcast sticker.
But yeah, that shit was crazy. That's some good deeds, because we're just good ass people like that. But yeah, so there was, I mean, just fucking moments like that, man, that just make cons like so much fun.
Right.
I picked up my poison ivy that I was after, which I had talked about. I was hunting for. This was one of those where like everything I hunted for, I got. I got both of my Daredevil by Frank Miller omnibus that I wanted. Nice. I got the poison ivy. I got the other Neil Adams book. Just freaking tons of shit. And so, but the only thing I would say is that there wasn't like a lot of quote unquote celebrities other than us. There was like a couple of, like Ryan Stegman was there, Scotty Young was there, Ryan Otley was there. So there was a couple ones, but not big ones. Jack Black was there, but nothing like major. Oh, Greg Capullo, but I think he goes like every year.
I mean, he was busy because he was at Baltimore, then he went to New York Comic Con, then he went to LA Comic Con. He's a busy guy.
He's living it up. And so last thing I'd say is I took a bunch of pictures and a video that I'll send to Jay, and we'll probably do like we'll post it on the page and probably post it on here, just its own little video. But I took some stuff of the Mezco booth, and they had for the Mezco fans, they had a bunch of cool shit. I'm gonna look up the pictures right now so I can talk about it. But I like Mezco figures. They're usually like 80 to like 120. Some of the special ones are a little bit more. Yeah. So I try not to get too many of them because it does add up. But I know some of the highlights for me were they got a Darkseid one coming out. They have a Cyclops and a Magneto, which are both like the X-Men Blue Team, the 90s version, Jim Lee shit.
Nice.
They have the Daredevil series, the Netflix one, so you're going to get him in the red suit, him in the Black Vigilante one, and then you're going to get another Punisher one. They had a badass Blade, totally looks like Wesley Snipes. I think there was a Ghostbuster set there, and so, I mean, there was just a Justice League one. Just Mezco's got a bunch of good shit coming out, and most of the figures just look dope. Like, they're just getting better and better. So that's just another freaking thing to take all my money.
It sounds like you had a good time, James. But let me ask a question: how is LA Comic Con as far as like how big it is? Has it been something that's continually been growing every year into something big? Because every time I see the guest list, they have some really solid guests. Is it one of those cons that are continuously growing, more and more people showing up every year?
I think it is growing and growing. I guess in previous years, so like I said, I'm new to the whole thing, but I guess, it used to be called Stanley Kamikaze, so I'm assuming he went every year. I know he was there last year. So I figured that now that he's not a part of it anymore, I was wondering if it was going to kind of go down a little bit, because I know that he brings a huge-ass crowd his own. But I would say from experience, Friday and Sunday weren't, like, crazy packed. Nothing like your New York shit. Like, it was packed, but it wasn't bad. Saturday was pretty fucking crazy. That was our big day. That's when we took the big club picture. But Saturday, there was hell of people. That one was a day where it was hard to fucking navigate through all the aisles and shit. So I think it is getting bigger. I don't think Saturday can get any bigger. It would just be, can the other 2 days sell out more, which would, in my opinion, they got the vendors, they got booths. They just need to get more big name artists and celebrities out there. That would, make it go bigger and bigger.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, to piggyback on the Mezco thing with the figures, which, by the way, I would love to get that Daredevil in the black outfit if he's got the Muay Thai ropes on his hands. That would be sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel Legends, I guess back at San Diego, but it's only for some reason it's resurfacing. The news is resurfacing on at least on my Instagram feed the last couple of days. They announced their Legends Wave in 2019, and that's a line that's getting really good. Like the Marvel Select have always been really good, but these Legends figures have been killing it the last couple of years. And the new wave, especially two of them, especially for me, looks amazing. Now in the new wave, there's two guys. I'll tell you right now. There's two guys I don't know who the hell they are. One looks like a demon. One looks like a demon wearing a weird Punisher outfit, and one looks like Chapel from the Spawn series. So I don't know who those guys are. But the other ones that I know are we're going to get Blink in a kind of a Mystique looking outfit, but it is Blink. We're getting Gambit from the 92 looking series. Gambit, Jubilee, Beast, Forge. It's going to be Forge. The outfit's going to be when the X-Men were all like in those yellow and blue with the big kick-ass black and red X belts on. We're getting a white costume Mystique, like the classical Mystique with the gun. And then the two I'm most excited for, obviously, are Weapon X. We got a new one coming out for Wolverine's Weapon X. Looks amazing. And as well as Guardian, leader of Alpha Flight. Looks sweet, too. They look really, really good. And the Build-A-Figure is going to be Wendigo. Now, I got to be honest, the Wendigo looks really weird. It looks like... I guess I'm saying that because it's not the Wendigo that I grew up with, the character look. He looks a little more demon-y, if that makes sense. He looks a little more like a little weirder, but not the Wendigo with the big puffy hair. And he looks a little more streamlined. Looks a little more like a gorilla mixed with some sort of wolf. But it looks cool. But like I said, I'm just really excited for the Weapon X, being the big Wolverine fan, and the Guardian figures. They look really, really good. So I'm looking forward to that series.
And we just want to shout out Toy Fiend. The picture that we have up is actually from his Instagram page, so go give him a follow, Toy Fiend, at Instagram. So thanks for this picture. Great post. Look, this is actually a wave I might actually pick up. Being the biggest Wolverine fan, you should be able to have. You must be able to have all Wolverine toys. So I just picked up a Wolverine Jeep from Toy Biz.
I got that one,
and it's still mint in box. Thank you very much.
Oh shit!
So is mine, and I got the bike. You got the whole run, bro. You got the whole run.
I'm gonna have the headquarters soon. I'm ready.
Yeah, no, it looks like a cool series, and they're I don't want to say cheap, but they're good. They're affordable. They're not like some of these other lines that are a little too crazy. But some of these, I'd get them. If you're thinking about them, get them when they're released, because I guarantee you, at least the Weapon X, the Mystique, the Gambit, those will go up in price very quickly.
I definitely don't know a lot about the Legends figures. I heard that they actually have some Chase variants, like in the box or whatever. Like they'll have one figure that's just exclusive, but it's one out of whatever. Not like Pops, James. I'm talking about something else. Am I wrong?
No, I guess there could be like an error one here or there. I think the last one was Psylocke. There was like a purple one compared to like a pink one or some shit like that. But I thought that, I could be wrong. I thought that was just an error. But usually it's like they'll put bigger characters. They know that they're going to be huge, so they'll put two in the box. But you get all the characters in that wave. The only difference would be if you have an exclusive. Like a GameStop exclusive or a Walmart exclusive. Walmart will have an exclusive, but most of the time, those usually center around the movies.
Well, no, because I know Boogie bought a case from, I guess, a distributor, and he got Spider-Ham, which was what was it, a Walmart exclusive?
No, it wasn't.
Walgreens.
Because
I'm thinking of Pop. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Sorry. No, because I got the Spider-Ham. Yeah,
I was gonna say first, just don't listen to anything Boogie says. But.
Yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't think there is Chase variants for the figures, for the Legends figures. I could be wrong. Don't quote me, but I've never seen them. I've never even heard of them.
Really?
No, so I'm the biggest Marvel Legends collector in the club, and I'm gonna say.
Are you really?
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. I gotta be honest. I don't know.
I think I have like the Fantastic Four line that just came out.
I think
Boogie has a ton of Legends figures.
Boogie has a whole
like his whole room is full of them. And
so he's probably first. Mine is I'm the second biggest. Yeah. Okay, whatever.
I'm more of a vintage. Let's say not vintage, like retro, like older. Like I love Toy Biz. I love their line. Yeah. I love the Secret Wars line of figures. Those are the types I'm into. I mean, the new ones are cool. I'm definitely going to try to pick up this line. But I feel like if I start collecting Marvel Legends figures, that's going to be a hole. I'm not going to be.
It's a deep hole. Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to climb back out of.
Well, we remember Juan. We saw that. We saw that one kid. Jamie, and you saw that one kid in Baltimore. This young kid with his dad. He was walking with 2 bags, James, and he had every giant Secret Wars figure from the '80s. Like all the huge ones, had them all. I was like, oh man, that's some money.
I was not playing no games on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
But definitely, those are some awesome figures. So the build the figure is actually going to be
Wendigo.
Okay, because I was like, I wasn't even sure who it was. I'm like,
yeah, it's a reimagining. They redesigned him.
I thought I only saw it from the picture that you guys posted, but I thought he almost kind of looked like what was that fucking
He looks
troll movie that came out like a couple years ago? It's a video game. It's like a computer. Well, it's like it's a computer video game like World of Warcraft or some shit.
I don't know.
He looked like the main character from that.
He looks like the gorilla from Dragon Ball Z.
He does.
Yeah,
he looks like that dude from the movie.
I am excited for Gambit though, because I don't get all the waves. I was at first, and then it just became like I said, I don't put them on my while I open them. So then a lot of them don't stand very well on their own. They always fall over. So this little like battlefield that I have going on like falls over every couple of days, and I just say fucking leave them there. Those are the ones that die. So so now I started just getting characters that like I'm really really into. So I know for me, like looking at the wave, I'm gonna get the Gambit, and maybe Beast, and that's probably gonna be it.
I'll sell it to you. I'll sell you.
I'm gonna be Weapon X and Guardian will be the only 2 I get.
Now, as far as getting them, I think yes, you do need to. If you're into them, you definitely got to swoop them up as soon as you can. Usually, when they sell out, what'll happen is they go up. They usually like double in price. They never jump like too crazy, but still doubling up to $40 is usually what you'll find them on eBay for, the quote unquote rare ones. And then after time, it'll drop because then everybody's pretty much gotten them by now. Or if it becomes a major hit, I think from this one, if I'm gonna take a guess and say the big hits, I'm gonna go Weapon X and Gambit are gonna be the big hits in my opinion from that wave. Those ones, if it becomes popular enough, what they'll do is they'll release a whole freaking box of just that character. That's what they did with the Deadpool that came out, not this most recent terrible wave that has a bunch of versions of him, but the one that I think it was the Juggernaut wave. That one, they just released a whole box of literally just him, and and so then the price just shot down. And of course, I picked them all up and then held on to them for too long, and so it wasn't.
And then you sent them to other members just for shipping.
Yeah.
You know,
should have sold it
like the most expensive one I've ever seen was like that Dragon Man, that Fantastic Four fucking villain. That shit's like
Dragon Man. That's crazy.
Like $900, bro.
Holy shit!
For a Legends figure?
Well, yeah, if it,
$600 to $900.
I could buy a Sideshow figure for that.
Yeah, you can.
I'll clarify. The new ones only jump to that much. There is the old ones, just like everything else. The old versions of them wasn't as mass printed, and so they are pretty rare. Those ones will.
Yeah, that's something I'm gonna look into because, like I said, I never collected a Legends figure except for like the Fantastic Four line that just came out just in Walgreens. But I know some Facebook pages I were on. They're about their business, man. Like that shit was.
Oh yeah.
That shit was crazy.
And people do some sick ass customizing with them too, and they'll build characters. And sometimes those characters that they build look better than the fucking ones that end up coming out.
Yeah.
Most of the time, there are some sick. Yeah. If anybody knows, hit me up, Canadian Geek. I've seen a few, but I always like to look at them and see how these guys do. There are a bunch of guys I follow on Instagram that do amazing work. Mm-hmm. Even Funko Pops. What's it called? There's one guy called Abernathy Custom, I think, and he takes Funko Pops and makes them a whole different world. He does this Weapon X. You figure it should be in like a book. It looks so good. So it's amazing some of these guys, the custom work they can do. But they also charge for that custom work. So you got to be, if you're going to get it done, make sure you really want that figure.
Get ready to pay, son.
Yeah, don't be a cheap guy.
All right, Chatty. What's next, brother?
The ending of Old Man Logan, the series.
Logan.
So,
have it up right
Thank
here.
God.
Yeah, I'm only, I'm not going to bother arguing. I'm only like the fourth or fifth biggest Wolverine fan, I guess technically. But but no, yeah, the series ended this past week with issue 50. Ended on kind of a weird, like it ended that the series ended okay, but they didn't really end it. They just ended it to start Dead Man Logan, which is coming out at the end of this month. It's going to be a 12-part series, and then I'm assuming the regular Wolverine series will be back after the Return of Wolverine is done. They went through a lot of artists. Only 2 writers in the series. It was 50 issues. It was released once a month, so it was basically, like 3 years, 3 years or whatever it is, the math. It was weird. The first, like when it started off, it was Jeff Lemire doing the writing and Andrea Sorrentino doing the artwork. You'll know him. He's the one doing. He's doing right now. Him and Lemire are doing Gideon Falls, but the two of them started Old Man Logan. Then a Canadian writer named Ed Brisson took over for the writing, and then Mike Deodato Jr. took over for art, and it was still really good. He ended a lot of Jeff's writing, and the artwork was really good. Then these new 2 guys, Ibram Robinson and Neil Edwards, kind of finished the series. In a whole, it was okay. It took a real dip, I found, after Lemire and Sorrentino left. Not as far as the artwork, just as a whole, the story kind of really took a dive. They really went to some really weird places, and brought in characters that they were really reaching for the storyline. But then at the end, it kind of picked up and got good, and we got to see the Wolverine or Old Man Logan that we're used to. And I picked up issue 50. I picked up I was able to get all 3, but I got the 1 in 25 Gerardo Zaffino cover, which is very Jock-esque in kind of style. But it was amazing. So it was a good series. I mean, if you're a fan, you didn't pick it up though, but you kind of like that character, I definitely recommend getting the trade paperbacks. It's worth the money.
Or wait for an omnibus.
But yeah, I would wait for an omnibus too, because that'll be a good one to get. So yeah, there's lots of good art, lots of good covers. If you're serious, so they did a pretty good job. At times it kind of floundered, but I'm looking forward to the return of the character. I don't know what I'm feeling about Dead Man Logan. It just kind of seems like a money grab. But Ed Brisson, who wrote this, is going to be writing that as well. So it should be pretty cool, I guess. I'll definitely check it out.
So before I go on my rant, what's Dead Man Logan about?
So basically, I won't spoil it, what exactly happens, but Old Man Logan ends modern times. So Mysterio is alive in the current time. So Mysterio is going to find him, and there's going to be a big conflict there, because in the story Old Man Logan from 2009, Mysterio breaks into the X-Mansion, and he messes with Wolverine's head, and Wolverine dude, the fucking series is 10 years old. I'm not seeing spoiler alert for Old Man Logan.
That's just really old.
Yeah,
I gotta side with Chad on this one.
Yeah. If you ever read Old Man Logan, tough shit. So, so in that storyline, Mysterio breaks into the X-Mansion during the whole huge surprise attack by all the villains. He tricks Wolverine into killing all the X-Men, and then Wolverine walks out into the desert, for 50 years because he tried to kill himself or whatever. So when he comes back, Mysterio, I guess, finds out that he's around, and I guess the whole storyline is going to be him trying to kill Wolverine, and Wolverine trying to get that last bit of redemption in before he either dies or gets transported back to his own timeline. I don't know. There's a lot of lately. I just feel they're trying to capitalize on it. They could have ended that. Like that storyline could have been part of Old Man Logan. They could have just made it 60 issues instead of 50. So I guess we'll see. I'll check out the first issue, see how it is, and
I'm gonna pick it up too. I'm here and read it, because I really dug Old Man Logan. I think that was one book that I read consistently. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and if you're gonna jump into it, don't do what I did and jump into the second part.
The new series.
Make sure you get the first original series and then read it from there.
And you could probably go to InStockTrades.com, pick it up there. I mean, they don't sponsor us yet, but
or Comixology. Yeah.
Let's hope that
we can. Or Amazon. It's like $13, $14.
Guys, I'm really trying to get this InStock Trade sponsorship.
Sponsorship.
So that's the only place we're going. Yeah. All right.
InStock Trade is the only place I get my stuff.
Yeah, me too.
All my omnibus come from there. I even went to LA Comic Con, and those Daredevils I talked about, I bought them at there on InStockTrades.com.
InStockTrades.com. Make sure you go and sponsor us. Thank you.
This show brought to you not by InStockTrades.com.
But no, I think it is. I do like the series. I didn't finish it. I read the first arc finally after going back, and then I think I read like the first couple volumes of the newer one, and so now what I'll end up doing is I'll read it all together and finish it off. But I think it was a great story too. And if you haven't read it, you really need to go back and read it. It is one of the best ones that I've read, and the Mysterio. Even though we just spoiler alerted it for you, but that Mysterio part is fucking insane. Like
it's 10 years old. If you haven't read it yet, fuck you.
Still read it. It's one of those books that we're not giving everything away by saying like this is what happened.
No. There's so much good stuff.
No. Yeah. And there's so much gore and just oh my god.
Steve McNiven's art is so good in that book, and Mark Miller's story writing is so good in that book. It's amazing, and I think that's what hooked me when it first came out. That's kind of Jeff Lemire. As far as the story goes, kind of went back to that. He showed a lot of the holes that we didn't get to see in Old Man Logan. He would show what happened. So definitely pick them both up. Pick them both up, man. InStockTrades.com.
Yeah, InStockTrades.com. Go pick it up there.
Yeah.
Soon to be sponsored.
I'm just remembering. I found out. So I was reading. Like I said, I read the second. What do you call it? The second
It's technically Old Man Logan Series 3. Series 3.
So I started reading that one. And like I got a couple issues in, and I remember like posting at everybody. I was like, dude, this fucking battle that they're talking about from before sounds fucking awesome. Is there a title on this? And everyone was like, yeah, the fucking first Old Man Logan. And I was like, oh shit, I'm reading the wrong one. Shit. Good times.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Good brothers have anything else? What we're going?
Yeah. Well. Piggybacking off of Old Man Logan comes the series that nobody wanted or asked for. Is going to be Old Man Quill. That's right. Star-Lord is getting his own old man treatment. I don't even know what to say. I read up on this. It was a very quick blurb about how they'll explore his story when he's older. I don't even know. It looks like shit.
It's the same guy doing Hawkeye, I believe.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but just because I could be wrong, I could be being a complete asshole right now. But it just even Old Man Hawkeye, the series is pretty good, but it works because one, it's being written well, it's being drawn well, and also it's intertwined, if not directly, but it's they show Logan at the starting, so it's the kind of the same world. I think Old Man Quill will only work for the fans if it's somehow connected to these other two stories, because just to come out with an Old Man Quill, I mean, like let's face it, Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the worst selling titles of the Marvel pantheon of books. Now you're gonna bring you better connect it somehow to at least this world, or at least mention it or show it, and maybe he maybe he got off planet before the shit hit the fan. But I guess we'll see. I mean, you never know. I'm sure there'll be 15 variant covers for issue 1. So,
and we'll get every one.
Yeah,
every one of them.
So,
Jesus.
I think it's gonna be good. I think it just, it's not a character that I would have thought that they would have given him that series for. But I think for me also, it's, and we could go back and forth on this all the time. As long as it's written good, then yeah. I mean, obviously we don't have much shit to say because it's a good written story. Right. But I mean, I really, really fucking hope that this doesn't turn into every fucking character is now going to get this old man series, and it's just like, we don't need all these titles. What they're going to do is all the failing books are now going to get a fucking old man title. It's like, we don't need that shit. We really don't.
It'll be the Marvel Geriatric Universe.
Oh, man. Earth 3000. Everyone is old.
Yeah.
You can't wait. Old Man Parker. It's going to be fucking great.
That actually would be kind of cool, actually. Like Old Man Parker, Old Man Spider-Man, Old Man Daredevil, Old Man Punisher, have them all and just pissed. It'd be like an Old Man Seinfeld episode. You'd be Daredevil, Peter Parker, and Punisher sitting in the coffee shop.
Gosh.
I'll buy that right now, and it could be the whole issue. You could just see them in the coffee shop talking.
Jeez. That's going to be
perfect.
So good. What else, guys? What's going on?
I was going over the chat. Someone said, how did Fiendcast not lead with Ivy?
Ivy? Nobody cares about Poison Ivy.
Except for James.
Is there news about Poison Ivy?
Is there news about Poison Ivy? Or, I mean, what did we miss?
That's a nice PGX slab.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Oh, hey, look, you know what? That shit. This book has been so fucking hard to find, man. And I was like, I'm going and I'm finding that book.
Yeah, you
finding
did.
That book.
You said it.
And
You said it
then-
on the chat with us. He's like,
I
"This is the
did.
book."
I did.
And, it
And there was only like a few. Me and Robert Lopez both were hunting for certain titles, certain things that we wanted, and both of us were having a hard ass time like finding that book that we wanted. And I only found 4 copies. One was a high grade, so dude wanted like fucking 600-700. Another one had, and then the same guy had a low grade one without the pin up that he only wanted like $75 for, and I was like, man, that's gonna be like my last resort.
You need that.
Some
pin-up.
other guy, I know you have to, and then some other dude had another high grade that he wanted like 900 for, and then I found that one. It was at 350. Last day I went and I said 300 cash money, take it or leave it. And he was like, all right, for sure. So
What
I
negotiating
walked away
skills?
with that.
300. I slammed 300 down. Said, "This is it."
Yeah, this is it. This is all, and a business card, and he was like, for sure, I got you.
He took the business card.
No.
Man.
No.
So, hey, I want to talk about something. Red Dead Redemption is fucking awesome. So if you haven't got it, go get it and play it. It's a really good game. Hopefully we get sponsored by Rockstar and Red Dead Redemption too. So shout out to Rockstar for making it.
Yep, that's what I'm about to go do right now.
Yeah, me too. I don't even want
Get my Wild Wild West on.
Anybody else, guys? Any other good news?
I think that's pretty much it.
So, I got some great news this week. The Comic Book Fiend Club will be going to C2E2 in March. And I'll be going along with my wife, Nerdy and Inked. We got our first official press badges. So we'll be there. And I really haven't even looked at the guest list. But we'll be there doing some live interviews with some creators, getting video and footage. And we hope to see a lot of people there, but that's in March. So let's try to get through Christmas.
Is it March? I thought it was April.
No, it's in March. It's a week before, or a week after Star Wars Celebration. Like it's back to back.
Oh damn.
Yeah, dude,
Oh,
it's in the
okay.
same place. So I think it's Star Wars Celebration, then C2E2. Or
Hope Adam Hughes cancels again.
he probably is because Steve's going.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adam Hughes. Let me see. Try to see if there's anything in the chat.
No, we miss here. None of us have read Heroes in Crisis, so we're
No,
getting
No,
have it.
I still got the first 2
Me
issues.
too.
I know a bunch of people die. I know a bunch of people die. It looks great. It looks.
I
really good.
haven't
just
even read
time.
any new titles, so
I just collect comics for the covers, so whatever. Oh, I will tell you what I'm reading. What I'm going to read this week. I picked up. Oops, sorry. This is from the Boogeyman, Spider-Man.
No. Wait, where'd you get it from?
From Jay.
Where'd
From Boogie.
No.
Oh,
wait,
sorry. I got it from
InStockTrades.com.
InStockTrades.com.
Oh.
Go to
yeah,
InStockTrades.com. Get 42% off every book. Sometimes they'll throw an extra 3% in there. InStockTrades.com. Hopefully,
That's where I got mine.
we'll get a discount with our own group name
Put a
on it.
discount code is CBFC, which won't get you a discount, but it'll let them know where you heard them from. So
Right.
yeah.
So make sure you do that. Also found out they're coming out with the Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3. It's going to be $150, so I think it's going to be an omnibus that's like this big, kind of like the Infinite Crisis one. So that's what I'm expecting. So that'll be out at the end of the month. If
Is that the one
omnibuses
that
are
you
your thing.
said?
Yeah, that's the one I sent you.
Okay, so that's what volume again?
Volume 3.
So it's just a redo of volume, because they have a volume 3.
Nah,
Because
there's no way. Let me show you.
original series, right?
Yeah, but it's coming up as Volume 3.
One, and they have 2, and then I thought number 3 is the one that's out of print with Goblin. Or is that 2?
No, it says right here. Oh, I'm sorry, Volume 4. You're right, James. I apologize.
God damn,
Volume
I'm
4.
right. Fuck yeah.
My bad.
Oh. Yeah, number 3 is the one that I want, but it's out of, I think the original cover one is out of print, I think, and it's
Right.
got Goblin, and that's the one that I want, but I'll get it. I'll get it from InStock Trades soon.
Yeah, InStock Trades will have it back, just like Fantastic Four Volume 1 right now at InStock
There you go.
Trades. So I guess that's it for the night. Sorry, guys, we haven't been on as much. Honestly, there was just a lot going on within the club as far as getting enrollment started, finishing it up, getting our newbies settled in. I'll have a bunch of episodes uploaded tomorrow on Podbean and iTunes. Google is giving me a problem still. I don't know why, but I'll try to figure that out. We'll be back next week with a new lineup, some more news for you guys. And that's it, man. So for James and Chad, we're signing off. I'm going to play this outro. I'll play this outro, guys. And just have a good week. And that's it. Peace.
Later.
Later, peoples. InStockTrades.com.
Oh, shit.
Buy your comics there at InStockTrades.com.
In stock trades.
Hold on, shut up. I'm going to watch this outro.
In stock